What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Blockhash podcast channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Cardano and the ADA charts. They are one of the best ecosystems in crypto, aside from Ethereum and Solana, and they have had a tremendous surge in on-chain volume as of lately. So we want to talk about this a little bit more in detail, as well as where it could possibly go in the short term and the long term. So I'm going to give you my thoughts here for 2024. And we're going to do some analysis. So let's start with the chart, then I'll go to some relevant news around ADA. Right now, we're, been hit at rock bottom for ADA for quite a while, with 22 cents to 19 cents kind of being the low end of that spectrum, really battling all-time lows for Cardano, way back in time. But despite this massive move that it had all the way up to $3.10 back in August of 2021 during the last bull cycle, it has fallen off incredibly fast as a lack of actual TVL within their ecosystem, in my opinion. There wasn't the same amount of volume in it as it is today. A lot of people are investing now. There's DeFi projects, there's more smart contracts, there's more staked ADA in the ecosystem, and all these things aid into ADA's development. So there's no real trend line to draw quite yet, but you can make an argument that there's one here moving in the right direction. Again, I like to look for funnels. We'll see if this creates an upward funnel and where we kind of go from there. On the Bollinger Bands, if we zoom in on the weekly, we are starting to pop out, which is a good sign. So maybe we'll move to higher areas. Maybe we'll get closer to the 88, 89 cent range, maybe even 90 cents. Let's go ahead and pull up the EMA back out of the Bollinger Band. On the EMA, we are in a key area. We're above the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 200, which is excellent. We actually bounced off of it here in late January, early February, which is a great sign on the weekly, showing that there's support, and this is likely going to be a bull trend with the altcoin market going forward. All right. Need to exit this. We're going to pull up the RSI. We are overbought a little bit on the weekly, so we might start to see this taper a little bit. But as the altcoin market continues to grow and swallow up profits from Bitcoin and investors that are speculating in the market very slowly, they might continue. But we are in an overbought range above the median here. So this is important to keep in mind. Pullbacks are definitely likely to happen in this scenario. Best place to buy is in the lower part of this range, but the deviation is broken right now. So the likelihood that this tapers off and we come, either down and then back up is highly likely, or that we just come straight down and retest either the range or even the moving average that we have here. Oops, don't want to do that. So that is the RSI. Let's pull up the MACD just to kind of reconfirm where we're at here. You guys, a little bit of everything. MACD, same thing. We are above the moving average. We bounced on it, which is a key indicator. Also on the Bollinger Band moving average and in the middle of this funnel that we've been forming for Cardano. So likelihood that we continue upwards for a little longer is highly likely. But again, when you're above and you're getting overbought and you're starting to see higher highs for the first time in 2 years, that's when you still need to be wary that things could pull back. Like this could still go parabolic into a bull market. Anything can happen. I've seen crazy shit happen. We all have, but we need to be patient and see how it shakes out. So be careful when you're taking in positions when things are, people are FOMOing in. Want to take a look at the network for Cardano a little bit and how it has kind of exploded in growth and volume and what that can indicate as a multiplier. So I'm going to read through this article a little bit, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end, and then we'll do a final price prediction. So the 8th largest cryptocurrency by market cap, Cardano, has been steadily rising since the beginning of the year, reaching a high of 76 cents on March 2nd. Let's skip to some good stuff. The total number of transactions climbed by 3.1 million over the prior month, according to IOG. Recently issued February development highlights, bringing the total number of transactions to 85.8 million. According to in the block data, 37.26 billion ADA were transferred in large transactions, totaling 27 billion in the last 24 hours. At the time of writing, ADA was down almost 3% in the last 24 hours to 71 cents. Mirroring general profit taking, but up to 20% in the last 7 days. All of that makes sense. Okay, so nothing too shocking here, honestly. The key thing is, and I'll go back to the chart, just to kind of keep you engaged with me. But I'm going to back out to the weekly for this because the daily doesn't have as much of a history. The last 2 years has been so tight for Cardano. It actually didn't stop dropping until we got to October, this past October. So if we continue this trend, we can break through this resistance area here around 78 cents, which we're tapping right now. We'll likely come up to $1.20. That's a nice move. That's a really nice move. If we can accomplish that in the short term, we're looking at anywhere like a 50% move. That's definitely achievable. I think we get to $1.20, $1.10, $1.20. Maybe we get as high as $1.30 in 2024. I think it could happen by summertime, maybe late spring. It depends on price action, depends on what else happens in the market. Could we get in a Cardano ETF? Could we get some new upgrades to Cardano that are very nice to see? Could we see more diversification in dApp development away from Ethereum to Cardano and Solana and some of these other chains? That's all really key to see. And Ethereum is doing really well right now, so that will not necessarily help Cardano, but it will raise awareness of it being another chain, another possibility to develop on. So in the short term, yeah, I'm thinking $1.30. There's plenty of reason that it could go back to $3, but this was a wick up. There was nothing justifying that really in the ecosystem at the time. There is now. So if we can get up to $1.30, we can hold this level. Then by the time we get to the end of 2024, could we get above $2, $3, $4? Entirely possible. In the long term, I do think Cardano is going to get to $5. I think it's going to happen by 2025. So it sounds very ambitious, but I do think it's one of the best blockchains out there. I've said this forever. Anyone that knows me knows I've been saying this forever. So keep that in mind. $5 in the future, I definitely think $1.20 is a reasonable place for us to get to, about 50% move. So yeah. Next video will be out tomorrow. We'll talk about some more chart stuff. We'll look at the news as things kind of develop. Cheers.